Hey guys, Mike Morales at FinFactoryKayak&Tackle. Today I want to do a little 101 knowledge on the Hobie Mirage Drive and kind of where it's been and where it's at now. Okay, so first and foremost, this that you see here is pretty much the V1, or it was the V2 of the V1. The original V1 had actually metal sprockets as opposed to nylon, but of course the fin design, you know, the hull, the drums, the spine, pretty much have not changed very much. Okay, so once we went from here, we went to an upgrade into the V2 Mirage Drive, which is a lot like this. Obviously the stems didn't change, or the foot pedals, but this is the V2 Mirage Drive, non-GT. This is what actually is on the Passport now, which is same spine, same drum. Drums have changed a little bit, but it's bearingless. And when they went to bearingless to a bearing spine, it is now called the GT, which a lot of us out there have the GT spine. This is what a GT spine will look like. You'll know that it's GT because of the gray sprockets for one. Gray sprockets basically mean that these are bearinged, nylon bearings, which are long cylinders about this long, that'll go within the actual shaft of the sprocket to create less friction and a little bit more ease of use. You also have bearings in the actual drums for the stems that allow for a more smoother drive as well. So, and then of course on the pulley as well, you also have bearings in the pulley. So that is the GT spine. Again, you're looking at the V1 versus the GT, pretty much the same. Okay, the only thing that's different is you got bearings in the sprockets and in the drums as opposed to the original. So very good drives. A lot of people still use them. I think they're great. So then we went to the MD180, which this is the MD180 spine. Okay, a little bit different obviously than the GT spine. Pretty much everything is the same from up here, but if you look at the sprockets themselves, these are integrated into the actual spine itself. These have bearings within the cylinders in here and here, and these sprockets are not replaceable. If you want to replace the sprockets, you pretty much have to replace the entire spine for an MD180 drive. Whereas on the GTs, you could pretty much interchange or replace the sprockets themselves at a fraction of the price to repair any broken teeth or anything like that. Okay. So then Hobie went to the GT or V2 180 arc drive. The arc drive was a different, basically has different stems, and it allows for adjustments to be done at a push of a button here up at the top. Okay, this was the answer to a lot of more ease of use when making the adjustments on the fly. Other than that, MD180 spine, pretty much the same, but they went to arc with these more advanced stems for adjustments. Okay, so then finally we get to the new stuff, which is the MD180 arc drive with kick-ups. Okay, so as you can see here, these will kick up. And the difference here that you see, as opposed to the MD180 spine or the arc on the MD180 from last year's model, is that the booms are different. Okay, this is the boom that actually holds the fin up, and kind of a different mechanism here. Comparatively speaking, you can see there's a difference in the boom here. Okay, so this is what allows for the kick-up. Now, are they integrating the kick-up boom into the GT or the 180 arc? Yes, from what I understand, there's going to be an upgrade that will allow you to put kick-up pins on this guy. Okay, but that's pretty much how that goes. And this pretty much is on all models, for the exception of the Compass and the Passport, in which you'll get the kick-up pins with 180 drive. Okay. Now, the other thing that I get a lot of is, Mike, you know, what about, you know, we've got these little guidance pins, you know, guidance nipples or what have you that you see here. These, on a lot of the older kayaks, I'd say sub 2012, they didn't use guidance pins. Okay, well, the newer boats all have guidance pins to allow you to properly place the drive into the port of the kayak. But I can tell you right now, this is probably the most vulnerable piece of the spine. Okay, you'll get them break after time, or somebody kind of jams it in there, it's going to break one of those guidance pins. I can tell you, they do not affect performance other than allowing you to place the drive into the actual port. I can tell you that on most of my drives, this is broken. Okay, so also, And you'll see on this spine, we've actually shaved off, or we've cut off the guidance pins. And the reason why we did that is to integrate this into an older boat. And also the inflatables do not have guidance pins. Okay, so that being said, just keep that in mind, guys. You lose your guidance pin, it breaks off, it's not going to affect the performance of your boat. Okay. Now the final piece is the D2 kick-up fin that is now in the Compass without reverse drive, which is this guy. Okay. Now for demonstration purposes, I've taken off the cables and all that stuff so that you can see the variances and the differences in this particular drive. Okay. So if you look at this particular sprocket, which is probably the biggest question that a lot of people have, is what is the difference in this sprocket to the sprocket of the GT? Okay. From what I understand, and after looking at this, there's not a lot of difference in them. Okay, other than design features. I don't know if this is to help improve performance with the grooves or if it's just for aesthetics, but I can tell you that this is the spine that will encompass, or the sprocket that will encompass the kick-up fin. Okay, so what about the internal mechanics of this particular spine? Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate something here real quick. So if we take this spine, we take this guy like we do a normal one. I've already removed the Allen bolt that will kind of encompasses this actual shaft in place. If we push this guy through, okay, basically it has the exact same bearings as the previous model GT. This is one piece that encompasses the entire deal. This is the kick-up feature on it. It's a little harder when it's not on the actual boat. I don't want to lose those bearings. So that being said, the other thing that I noticed is that it also has this Allen port right here, which is a nylon Allen nut. And I think this is for adjustments down the road. Once these break in, you can actually strengthen the tension of the actual kick-up. So if you don't want it to kick up so easily, I'm pretty sure you're just going to tighten this guy down, and it's going to minimize the ability for these fins to kick up. So guys, this is the mechanics of this particular piece right here. Other than that, they did make a couple of improvements that I noticed. Obviously, it's kind of an arc base foot pedal stem here. You've got the adjustments up here at the top, a lot like the Arc, which is still an Arc drive, Arc stems. They did some improvements I've noticed to the drum as well. They made the ports a little bit bigger, which will allow for easier maintenance, from what I understand is what it feels like to me. And I'm pretty impressed with it. Other than that though, if you'll notice, I think that the spines are pretty much the same. Okay, I think, don't quote me, but it looks like it's the same. Okay, so guys, that is the evolution of the GT drive. So if you want to know certain things about them, this kind of breaks them down. If you have very specific questions, feel free to email us or call us here at the shop. Other than that, guys, it's something that I'm pretty interested in. I know it's kind of dry for a lot of people, but I want you guys to know the specifics behind these drives so you can make an informed decision before you buy. Other than that, guys, stay tuned. I got some pretty cool fishing videos that I took while doing some guide trips this week, and I hope you enjoy them too. You guys, tight lines, we'll see you next time. Good. That's what I'm talking about. That was a great, start off with a great cast, ended in a good result. Look at that. Awesome. Keep that tip up.